In 1996, a study from the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit revealed a disturbing fact: not all serial killers look like monsters. Some offer you soup. Some pray with you. Some even smile when they kill. Now imagine this: you're a childless woman in 1930s Mexico. Someone tells you there's a healer in the barrio, one who can bless you with a child, for a price. You go. You kneel. You drink. And you die. In this video, we dive into one of the most disturbing, forgotten tales in Latin American crime history. The story of Guadalupe Bejarano, known by locals as La Curandera de la Muerte, the Healer of Death, Mexico's first known female serial killer. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's walk together into a history buried in bones and betrayal. The legend and the lies. Guadalupe Bejarano didn't carry a gun. She didn't strangle. She didn't stab. She poisoned. Born in the 1890s near León, Guanajuato, she grew up in a culture soaked in mysticism, superstition, and systemic suffering. Mexico had just survived its revolution. The poor believed more in miracles than in medicine. And Guadalupe used that blind faith like a scalpel. She posed as a curandera, a traditional healer. Harmless. Holy. But behind her soothing words and Catholic icons was a predator watching desperate women fall into her trap. Her victims were mostly infertile women, those unable to conceive in a culture where motherhood defined worth. Bejarano promised them blessings, herbal cures, and spiritual cleansings. But what she gave them was arsenic and a slow, convulsing death. Pattern of a predator. Historians estimate she killed at least 15 women. Some believe it was over 30. Each murder followed a familiar pattern. She'd gain trust. Invite them into her home. Offer a special drink, often tamarind water or herbal tea, and recite blessings. Within hours, the victims would fall violently ill. But here's what made her even more terrifying: she often attended the funerals. She hugged the grieving. She wept. She was the comforter and the killer, at the same time. Witnesses later reported a strange consistency. The victim's skin took on a bluish tinge, their nails darkened, and there was bleeding from the nose and mouth. Yet no one suspected her. Why? Because poison doesn't scream. It whispers. The arrest that took too long. It wasn't until a grieving husband, suspicious of his wife's sudden death, bribed a local mortician to conduct a crude post-mortem. The discovery: high levels of arsenic. That revelation unraveled everything. Police searched Bejarano's home. They found journals, written like prayers, but laced with disturbing detail. Names, dates, symptoms, and something chilling: doses. She had documented each poisoning. Bejarano was arrested in 1938. At trial, she showed no remorse. She insisted she was only helping women return to God. When asked if she considered herself a murderer, she replied, "No. I am an angel. I just show them the way." She was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Some say she died behind bars. Others claim she disappeared in a prison riot. Her grave has never been found. Why history forgot her? So why doesn't the world talk about her? In America, we know the names: Bundy, Dahmer, Gacy. But Bejarano? Her story was quietly buried. Partly because she was a woman. Partly because her victims were poor. And mostly because Mexico, at the time, couldn't stomach the truth that evil could look like a healer with rosary beads. Her crimes challenged the structure of faith, tradition, and even motherhood itself. And yet, in the streets of León, some elders still whisper her name when tamarind water tastes off. The psychology of her killing. Serial killers crave control. For Bejarano, it wasn't about rage or revenge. It was about power through deception. She didn't just kill, she choreographed their deaths. Her poisons were slow. Her blessings were rehearsed. She wanted her victims to believe they were being healed even as they were dying. That level of psychological manipulation is rare. It's what criminal profilers today call a spiritual predator, someone who weaponizes belief. In many ways, Bejarano wasn't just Mexico's first serial killer. She was a mirror reflecting everything broken in her society: the desperation of women, the silence of the church, and the invisibility of the poor. Guadalupe Bejarano didn't need a blade. She used hope as her weapon. She turned faith into fear. And then, she vanished from history like smoke in a chapel. But her story, her real story, deserves to be told. If you enjoyed this tale and want more horror stories like this, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who loves dark history and forgotten mysteries. See you in the next video. Sleep carefully.